The reason why I came out to support my fellow Nigerians in this struggle, because this is a just cause. It's not a means to, cause uproar in the land. It is real. There is hunger. I am 40 years. I've never seen Nigeria bleed like this. The reason why we are here is simple. The president, our father, the one who usurped power, now he's seated there. I don't care whether it's Yoruba or Igbo. I'm not a tribalistic person. You are there. Thank you. Now Nigerians are hungry. Open the borders. Let there be food. Number two, we are saying return back fuel subsidy. Since you took away fuel subsidy, everything has increased. To feed, problem. To go to school, problem. Transportation, problem. So we are saying that the Tinubu, please, our father, the father of the Nigerian people, stop killing Nigerians. Listen to the issue. Listen to the problem. Listen to the tears, the agony of the Nigerian people, and come and do what you ought to do. Open the borders. You promised that when you come into power, there will be agbado, there will be beans, there will be bread, plenty. But now you've taken everything. Please open our borders back. Let there be food. Let subsidy come back, and let the pump price, the fuel price, return back to 200 naira per liter. Let there be security for our farmers. Let them go back to farm. Let Nigeria is a giant of Africa, but they want to chop off the head of this giant and make a caricature to other nations. Look at our youths. Look at our youths. We cannot afford education again. Please, let our children return back to school. Make education affordable for the Nigerian populace. God bless you. Let Nigeria return back to our greatness.
I want the Nigerian people to gather hand together, our youth, our boys, our people, our big men, to sponsor us in this protest. Because this protest we are doing here, we are doing it for our own grandchildren and our children and our favorites. Because we cannot continue in this stuff like this. Look at me today. It's not that I'm mad. My name is Ugo Jatia. Look at my head. To call this head now is 1,500 naira. I never see money to chop. How am I going to call this head 1,500 naira? My children, I have 5 children. 5 children now, they are going to school. At least each one of them, their school is no less than 30,000 naira, each one of them. Okay, the one that have entered secondary, about 2 of them, their school is no less than 50 or 100,000 naira. Where am I going to get the money? When you see me like this, you think I'm a crazy man. I'm not a crazy man. Look at my nigga. Everything have tear. Look at. So it's not that I'm crazy. So I'm not a madman. No. Let me tell you, Nigerians, what else you see us here like this? It's not that we cannot join bad things. It's not that we cannot do kidnapper. It's not that we cannot rob. It's not that we cannot join Boko Haram. But we are doing all this, keeping all this because we love ourselves. We don't want to shed blood. We don't want to put our hand into blood. But if people want it so, that sometimes we change our minds. We come to fight you people. Let this hunger stop. We are hungry. Our children are hungry. Our grandmother in village are hungry. We go even do farm. Fulani men go match farm, go inside ground. We don't go see anything to uproot. So when are we going to end all this? Like as I'm here, I'm a giant farmer. I do farmer in Ikorodu. I produce ugu, I produce ewedu, I produce efo, but I don't have money to buy fertilizer and grow my farm. No sponsor, no nothing. For how long are we going to suffer this?
As far as I'm concerned, he hasn't addressed us because the common man is the priority, should be the priority. So he has not addressed any of our demands so far. So that's why you can see us still outside here agitating peacefully. So he has not addressed us. As far as I'm concerned, he has not addressed. That's what I can say. But we will continue to agitate and demand for our rights peacefully. The demands are very clear. Cost of governance, downsize it. Cost fuel price, revert it back to old price. Is that 200 or 100 naira? It is very possible. It's very possible. Hardship allowance, you guys cannot be collecting hardship allowance on our behalf. We are the one facing the hardship here. This guy has not addressed the main and bone of contention that actually gathers us here, that made us united today, which is hunger. Hunger day. Okay, this speech, supposed speech, has it addressed any of those things? No! That's why we are still here agitating peacefully. We can't be intimidated, we can't be suppressed. The movements continue until our demands are met. So we bring these things down. These are the basics. We still have a lot more of demands, but at least address the common man needs. Something a common man can relate to, not some theory and formalities on TV. So as long as he hasn't addressed us, to me, to us, we have not addressed our own problem. So that's why we are still out here now agitating for good governance. So that's why we are still, and we continue to do so peacefully. No violence, because it's constitutional, it is lawful, and it's our right to do so.
Tinubu hasn't made any speech, because what he made, the speech he made is not even what we want to hear, because he didn't address our demands, and we know the reason why we are all out here. So he needs to make a speech that would tell us and give us a response on our demands. We want him to return the fuel subsidy. We want price of fuel to go down. We want to buy fuel at 150, 200 again. Because I was coming to the protest this morning, I checked down to the protest ground, because coming down from Maryland, I was at Maryland, so coming down from Maryland, they said I will pay 300 for public buses. So they should bring down fuel. We need to buy fuel at 150 and 200 again. And at least if you should make that order first, give that order first, that they should bring the price of fuel should come down first before we can hear anything again. Do you understand? So that's the reason why we can't take that speech for a speech, because we can't hear him respond to our demands. Do you understand? Even after hearing from our president, I think first we will be out here on this protest ground for 10 days first, and if we don't get a good response after 10 days, we will be here throughout this month until he gives us a speech we want to hear. We want him to address the insecurities in the country. We want him to address hunger, starvation in the country. We need him to make a good speech. We the youth, our futures we don't even understand. Our lives, most of our lives are messed up because of the government. We can't even dress fine nowadays. They have policemen outside there trying to extort youth. We are not even talking about that. We protested for NSAS. We know what they did to us. We can still remember. We haven't forgotten about what they did to us. So we are out here again. We need to cry out. We are all hungry and we are tired. We are not asking Mr. President to leave his seat, but we want him to do something for us that we will all be living good. We will know that we have a good government that listens to his people.
Nigerians have not relented. Nigerians, of course, still shows their sense of resilience, because the demands of Nigerians have not been met. We have attempted this before now. The paramount of them, of course, is the unaffordable food items, hunger. Apart from that, we still have issues of unaffordable electricity bill, that at this point in time, when there is hunger in the land, when there is economic hardship, when there is no money, of course the electricity tariff was still increased. It is wickedness of the highest order. So all these, among others, are the demands of Nigerians at this point. What is the content of the Mr. President's speech? I've read it and I've read it twice, at least twice. The speech is empty. In fairness to him, in fairness to Nigerians rather, Mr. President did not say one thing that he will do to address the hunger. In the speech, Mr. President was only emphasizing what he has done before, which is not only enough. Mr. President did not say one thing that he will do to address the present hunger and economic hardship in the land. So I want to say that the speech, of course,
the speech will not the speech will not an excuse for Nigerians, of course, to stop the protest because the demands have not been met.
He did not address the agenda of the protest. He stylishly dodged it. In fact, some of his speech was like threats to the masses, to the citizens. We're talking about hunger, reduction of inflation, like the minimum wage is not enough. He didn't address that. Also, what about the fuel? It took him just 1 second to say subsidy is gone, and we are asking him to return the subsidy back because it is affecting the life of everyone, whether you are rich, you are poor in Nigeria. There is serious hardship in Nigeria. He didn't even address it. He also did not address the cost of food and why the cost of food, what they are going to do. So if you want to address something, it should be a measure. You tell us, okay, so time we are going to do so. So there was, in fact, whatever he said yesterday, that was not a speech. And aside that, it wasn't supposed to be like a recording. It would have been a live conversation where the citizens will have time to ask him questions. He will respond back to them. Not recording a speech, come and talk, and he expects us to just go and sit down. It's not done. Our demands are not met, so that's why we are still here. And if it's not met, if he did not meet the demand for 10 days, we are going to extend this protest. There is serious hunger in the land. Serious, whether you are rich or you are poor, there is serious hunger everywhere you go. Nobody that is not feeling this hunger. And how is he going to reduce the hunger? Is to make sure that there is reduction of cost of food. It should open border, and it should make sure that he remove the hair smell in the bush so that our farmers can go to the farm to go and farm so that there will be enough food for people to eat. Apart from even removing it from the bush, what about people bringing food to Lagos, bringing food to town? There are kidnappers everywhere kidnapping people so that they will not be able to get to their destinations. Those are part of this, like fuel. The fuel subsidy, in fact, fuel is about 850 naira now. How much did he miss the fuel? If you can bring it back to the amount he missed the fuel, I believe from there we'll begin to see how we can manage the economy. Then there are other things like judicial and electoral reform. Those are the major issues that we are facing in Nigeria. As a citizen, we don't have the freedom of speech. We cannot protest. You can imagine in Kano and other parts of Nigeria that police are beating and killing people, and there's nobody, there's no judiciary. We don't even have voice in our country, in our own country that we belong to. So those are part of the demands that we are asking.
Man, the police are bullying us. They don't want us to say our things. They don't want us to voice out, and I don't want us to continue going like this. I want to fight for my rights. We'll come out fully. We are not going anywhere. We have to talk out. We have to speak out. No, we are not going anywhere. Even the buses don't need to be passing. Even the cars don't need to be passing. We need to block everywhere here because this suffering is too much. It needs to end.
We said the place is so pushy. We cannot get into this place. In the next 30 minutes, we saw that they have brought in tractors to come and start clearing this place. Do we have to remind them of their responsibility of what they have to do? Do we have to tell them to come and clear here before they have to come and clear this place? And again, I noticed that the person that was asking us to go inside this place, he was showing some level of he cared that we be on the road. People might come in and a car can come in and hit anybody. That is none of a business. But we told him we can't go into the park because they have an ulterior motive. The same guy that was telling us that this protest is Igbo people that are causing the protest. Why would he bring that sort of sentiment? And I told my guys that we are not going to the park, and that is one of the reasons why we feel to go to this park.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, me and I calling your name directly because you said you wanted to be president, and now you are president. This is what it means to be president. Presidentship is service and leadership to the people. The people you are claiming to serve are suffering. The people you are claiming to serve are hungry. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nothing is working in Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you appointed people as ministers, incapable people. Nigerians deserve better. Nigerians deserve better health care. Nigerians deserve food. Is that too much to ask from a president? People need to eat. People are dying.
My dad can never afford the payments of my school fees, house rent, and everything. It's no longer like before that I can buy biscuit of 20 naira or 50 naira. Now the biscuit is 100 naira.
These guys are doing these things. They have run this country to the ground because they know that nothing is going to happen to them. Don't you guys get it? They are comfortable. They are too relaxed.
Yes.
That's why they keep doing what they are doing. If I do something, if I steal today and I know I'm going to get away with it, I'm going to steal again. But if I know that if I'm caught, I'm going to get punished, I'm going to suffer, I will not do it again, even if I have the opportunity. Yes. That is what is happening. And we must let them know that we are watching them. We're going to pressure them to do the right thing by force. Because one, their recklessness is just too much.
Yes. Why did you physically come out for this protest today?
It's because of what is happening in the country. There's hunger, there's hardship. It's impossible for us to feed again. People are dying of starvation. People can no more send their children to school because they cannot afford the escalating school fees. People are losing their relatives and their friends and their children and their elderly ones to very minor sickness and illnesses because they cannot afford money for medicine and money to pay for Medicare because of the escalating cost of health care. Many don't have any jobs at all. Many have lost their jobs because over the past 12 months, over 10 to 15 multinational companies have closed their firms here in this country. And why have we had all of this? Because on May 29, President Tinubu decided to remove fuel subsidy. And from that time, Nigeria has been in this problem. He also increased the electricity tariff and devalued the naira. And alongside that, implemented a number of neoliberal and anti-poor economic policies that have turned all of our life to what it is today, whereby most of us can no more afford to eat 3 times in a day. So that this struggle is about the Nigerian worker whose pay can no more take home. 70,000 naira can never buy a bag of rice today. And that is what President Tinubu says he wants to be paying to Nigerian workers. This struggle is about the traders and the artisans who don't have customers anymore. And even when they sell, that money that they make is not enough to feed them again. It's about the students whose future is now bleak. And it's about all of us who are in this situation of hardship. This struggle is to say enough is enough.
Yes, can you state some of your demands, sir?
Our demands are: 1, the reversal of fuel price to pre-May 29, 2023 level. Reversal of electricity tariff to pre-May 29, 2023 level. Reversal of all anti-poor and neoliberal policies that the government has implemented. Better funding of public education. We don't want loans. We want students to be given grants. Because loans means that students are going to be trapped in lifelong indebtedness. We want decent job creation. There are no jobs in this country. Many people, when they graduate 10 years after, they still don't have a job. And we're also asking for unemployment allowance to those who don't have a job. Because what they are doing in this country now is that if you don't have a job, then it means that you have to die of starvation. Many people have hung themselves on many bridges in Lagos, committing suicide over the past few months. We don't want to continue to lose our young men, and that's why we need this unemployment benefit. We want the refineries to be fixed, new ones built, but most importantly, they should be put under democratic workers' control and management. We also want the power sector, that privatization that has failed since year 2013, to be reversed, and for the power sector to be placed under democratic workers' control and management. We think that something needs to be done about Nigeria's economy, because what we know is that this country is very wealthy. Nigeria is one of the wealthiest countries in Africa, even in the world. Why is it that despite that, millions of our people are wallowing in poverty? It is simply because we are practicing a capitalist economic system which is built to only ensure that a few people are rich at the expense of the mass majority. Our struggle is to demand also the end to that exploitative economic system of capitalism and for a socialist economic alternative that can ensure that Nigeria's wealth will be made available for the betterment of all. We don't want to end this struggle and go back to our life
of poverty again and go back to a life of not being able to eat again. We want total structural and social transformation of the way this country is run.
During the press conference, you accused the police of sabotage. How would you say the police has been ever since we started this protest this morning?
Well, it's still too early to begin to assess the police because we know how they operate. Yeah. But so far now, what they have been doing is to try to prevent us, from continuing the rally here, insisting that we must obey the Jankara court ruling restricting protests in Lagos State to just 2 centers. Well, because we don't want violence, because we also understand what is being done, there are around us here and across several places in Lagos State, militias, thugs affiliated to the ruling party who have already been given money and weapons to descend on peaceful protesters. So we are not going to give them that chance. And that's why we have democratically discussed among ourselves and we have resolved that at a certain point in time, we are going to march peacefully to Ojota. And that is because the CP has given us an assurance that Ojota is going to be a place that we can be able to protest peacefully without any attacks. But we also know not to take the CP by his words. And this is very important because the CP of police, I can't remember his name now, also has a moment in history to be able to demonstrate that he is not the deceptive person that we saw on June 12th. And why do I say this? We've never said this out before, but on June 12th, the CP told us that one of the leaders of our movement, Kome Junwo, was not in their custody. He was arrested on the eve of the movement. He said he was not in their custody. They didn't have him with them. And he was here with us during the protest on June 12th. Only for us the next day to go to the DS and they said they didn't have him. And then we then discovered that he was actually at the police command. In fact, when he was arrested, he was taken to the office of the CP. Then his president was handcuffed and tortured. So when you have had a CP who lied to us brazenly, openly, just a few months back, and he's saying that if we go to Ojota, nothing will happen to us. It means that we are not exactly sure that we are not walking into a trap. But we are also doing this. We are also calling on the media to be witness to whatever is going to happen. So that as soon as we are moving, please ensure that even ahead of us, you send your people there. Whatever is going to happen to us, let it happen in the full glare. The reality is that the stage we are in this country, no poor person, no worker who is struggling to survive, no young person who does not have a future should be afraid of dying in this struggle. Because without death itself, then what exactly are we doing, given the kind of life that we are living? So we are prepared for anything. We are not violent. If they insult us, we are not going to respond. If they market us, we are not going to respond. If they shoot us, we are not going to respond. If they want to kill us, we are going to die on our feet in our honor. We know what we are fighting for. It is not just our own life. It is the life of the unborn generation.